城外夜市如今也变得如此热闹。
在他杀害前天王、陆天王时，这些人也在现场。
到底谁有这等本事？如果我没记错的话，圣师灵训的意思是……
Atop the tower, the crown prince of the Dian Kang nation narrowed his eyes. As expected, the Wuzun Lulan scripture. Only, he hesitated as he watched Qin Mu slap his own backside twice, leaving it swollen and red. Why would a Lulan shaman strike his own buttocks? Is this some kind of Wu ritual? Seeing that Qin Mu had returned to his normal form, Duke Wei grew suspicious. He glanced toward the national preceptor's residence, thinking to himself that the national preceptor of the Dian Kang nation had once used a similar divine ability. Yet today he had not shown himself. This Ban Gongtuo, is he truly a disciple of the Lulan Golden Palace? Sun Nantuo hesitated. The Wuzun Lulan scripture refined the soul to temper the body, cultivating a form that was neither god nor human. What Qin Mu had just displayed was clearly deification and an extremely rare kind at the Five Wonders realm, where body, ki, and soul were almost completely unified. Even the national preceptor, who had seen such things before, might not fully comprehend it. Let alone Sun Nantuo and the Crown Prince, they could only mistake it for some kind of demonic Wu art. Seizing the chance, Duke Wei mocked. Your disciples of Nantuo Temple used even 6 Harmonies realm divine abilities and still had their heads cut off by someone in the Five Wonders realm. That's quite a loss of face. Lord Sun, are you not going to take action yourself? Sun Nantuo remained silent. At the same realm, he was not confident of victory. If he used a higher realm, Duke Wei would certainly spread the news throughout the capital city. He changed the subject and said quietly to the Crown Prince, I am searching for this barbarian's Dao Protector. Dao Protector. The Crown Prince was startled. Whoever dares block a gate must have a Dao Protector. Since he acts so brazenly, that Protector must be an expert at the Sect master level. If we kill that person, Nantuo Temple can still preserve its face. Sun Nanto stepped forward to face Qin Mu and shouted, The Heavenly Canopy Tower is the sect-suppressing treasure of our Nantuo Temple. Who gave you the courage to block our gate here? Chima replied calmly, I am merely selling a treasure, selling it to one destined for it. If you can defeat me, this tower will naturally belong to you. The Crown Prince interjected with a smile. If it is a sale, there must be a price. How much? Qinmu answered concisely, 100 Lao ships, 200 cloud chariots. The Crown Prince's expression immediately darkened. Those were military assets, absolutely not to be handed over beyond the frontier. If you cannot afford it, Qinmu said coolly, then do not interfere with my business. He announced that he would remain for 3 days, waiting for the destined buyer. Night fell. The capital city was ablaze with lantern light, and the night market outside the capital bustled as the new year approached. Duke Wei went to the national preceptor's residence, only to learn that the national preceptor had married. The emperor had granted him 100 palace maids. The next day he chose one to complete the wedding rites, then departed to tour mountains and rivers with his wife. Duke Wei's eyes widened. That bastard actually got married. Outside the Nantuo auxiliary palace, Qin Mu suddenly vanished. The barbarian ran away, shouted a monk. Sun Nantuo said coldly, we strike outside the city. Duke Wei chuckled softly. Killing to silence witnesses truly masterful. The group chased out of the capital city, reaching a night market stretching over 10 li. Hanging on the wooden gate was a sign, Saint Teacher's Presence. Duke Wei's expression changed. That was the slogan of the Heavenly Saint Sect. The moment they stepped inside, heaven and earth suddenly trembled. Vendors, scholars, beauties all erupted at once. The monks of the Nantuo Auxiliary Palace were annihilated in an instant, red staining the night sky. Sun Nantuo transformed into a 1,000-armed Buddha, his body 100 zhang tall. 20 elders surrounded him from all directions. Boom! The Buddha form shattered. The night market immediately returned to its lively bustle, as if nothing had happened. Duke Wei turned pale. Leave at once. Don't let the demon sect master see our faces. Suddenly Wei Yong waved toward a tent inside. Brother Qin, why are you here? Inside the tent, Qin Mu turned and froze when he saw Wei Yong, then smiled. So it's Brother Wei and Duke Wei. Why are you standing out there? Come in. Wei Yong frantically winked. Come out quickly. I have urgent matters. Something major has happened at the Imperial College. He feared Qin Mu had wandered into a wolf's den without realizing it. The Heavenly Saint Sect had just wiped out the Nantuo Auxiliary Palace in the blink of an eye. Even son Nantuo was killed. Brother Qin's slender frame looked as if he might be squeezed dry to the marrow. Duke Wei saw two elders blocking the path behind them, veins bulging on his forehead. This brat causes even more trouble than I do. Now we can't retreat even if we want to. Qinmu gently raised a hand. The old woman beside him immediately stepped forward. He tilted his head and whispered a few words to her. The old woman walked out chuckling darkly. Duke Wei, little brother Wei, please come inside. Duke Wei took a deep breath. Let's go. The wooden camp still carried the scent of fresh timber. In the center stood a platform raised about 3 feet above the ground. Hundreds of Heavenly Saint Sect members sat neatly beneath it, silent and waiting. Wei Yong glanced around and whispered, "Brother Qin." He saw Qin Mu walk straight onto the platform. "Don't go up. That's where the Saint Teacher gives instruction." Silence. Duke Wei growled softly. Qin turned around. All the sect members rose to their feet and bowed. "Welcome, Sect Master, Saint Teacher." Wei Yong's mouth fell open. Duke Wei sighed inwardly. As expected, the Heavenly Saint Sect has chosen a mere youth as its sect master. Qinma sat down and asked calmly, "Who here is skilled in soul-searching and spirit extraction?" A female hallmaster stood up. This subordinate understands a little. Qinma activated the soul guide of 9 Spectres Sect. Behind him appeared a dim gate-black mist surging within. Inside it emerged the souls of Sun Nantuo and the monks. The female hallmaster produced a luminous mirror and shone it upon Sun Nantuo's soul. His memories began flowing backward like water. Crown Prince's Grand Tutor Yun Boshan, Crown Prince's Grand Guardian Ting Yanju, Crown Prince's Junior Preceptor Kui, Mingji, Crown Prince's Junior Guardian Xia Tianqiu, and the Dian Kang Crown Prince Ling Yuxia. The air inside the camp turned cold. Iame nodded. "Record their names. Choose the right moment and send them on their way." Duke Wei's heart pounded. They even intend to kill the Crown Prince. The Heavenly Saint Sect is truly reckless. Yet he did not dare speak. This sect had endured through countless dynasties, through rise and fall. The deaths of 2 heavenly kings were a humiliation that could not be ignored. The female hallmaster continued retrieving memories, dragging out even Master Ruobiao. Qinmi said slowly, "The year is almost over. Let them finish their New Year's dinner. The Nantuo Auxiliary Palace has been destroyed. Nantuo Temple need not continue to exist." The Protector Elders acknowledged the order in unison. Duke Wei quietly exhaled. At least they would wait for the right time and not immediately move against the Imperial Court. Suddenly Qinmu looked toward father and son and smiled. Duke Wei began sweating. "Sect Master, my voice carries far." "I know." Qinmu smiled faintly. "Duke Wei, do you find the methods of our sacred sect smooth and efficient?" The 20 experts who had jointly slain Sun Nantuo rose simultaneously. Duke Wei inhaled deeply. "I once had ties with Sect Master Li," Xuebina replied coldly. "You met only a few times." "Not deeply." Duke Wei's face darkened. Chima said, "Our sect lacks 2 heavenly kings. Duke Wei serving as a guardian. Heavenly king should not be a problem. I am a duke of the current dynasty. Name only. You act only when needed. No coercion." Laughter rose from beneath the platform, warm on the surface, cold underneath. "I am willing," Duke Wei hurriedly said. Wei Yong's eyes widened. Old Master didn't. "They say you could swear an oath and then leave." Silence. "If you hadn't shouted Brother Qin, I would already have escaped." Wei Yong protested. "Brother Qin is not some vicious fiend." Duke Wei shot Qinmu a glance. "If he isn't vicious, how could he become Sect Master of the Demon Sect?" Qinmu coughed lightly. "We are the Heavenly Saint Sect, not the Heavenly Demon Sect. I am the Saint Sect Master. Heavenly King Wei, remember that." Heavenly King sounds far more imposing than Duke. Wei Yong beamed. "Sect Master, what about me?" Duke Wei glared at him. This brat truly loves a spectacle. After pushing his old father into a pit of fire, he even wants to jump in himself. "Hopeless," Qinmu said calmly. "Jade Heavenly King Lion, Heavenly King, please explain the rules of the sacred sect to Heavenly King Wei." Then he turned to the others. "Destroy this place. Leave no trace." At once figures flickered. In the blink of an eye, the entire night market vanished. Wooden planks and beams were stacked neatly. A great banner swept down, lifted again, and all materials disappeared without a trace. The corpses of the Nantuo auxiliary palace monks were also taken away beneath the banner. Even the soil within Tenmu was dug up and dumped into the river Yongjiang, where floodwaters washed everything clean. Moments later, the area lay dark and desolate, as if nothing had ever existed. Jinma said softly, "Disperse." Hundreds of sect members bowed and scattered in all directions. Some vanished beneath the great banner. Some melted into the darkness. Others pushed carts and departed. Only Chinmu and 4 others remained. Chinmu turned and left as well. He strolled leisurely back toward the capital city. Lanterns blazed brightly, scholars and beauties wandering in delight. Suddenly heavy snow began to fall. Feather-like flakes swirled lantern light reflecting off them, glittering like jade. Young maidens stretched out their hands to catch the snow laughter drifting through the night. The capital city is truly prosperous. Chinmu sat down at a noodle stall. 2 bowls of minced meat noodles, extra chili. The bowls arrived bright red with chili 70% lean and 30% fat spicy aroma rising into the air. He lowered his head and ate steam curling around him. Suddenly a hearty laugh rang out. "Old brother Chin, this time you can't run." Fan Yungxiao sat down opposite him. 4 bowls. Extra spicy. He's paying. Chinmu looked at him. "Brother Fan, what brings you to the capital?" "Bad luck." Fan Yungxiao sighed. "The ship broke apart mid-air, nearly killed all the passengers. I compensated them until I was ruined. Now I plan to build an ironclad ship and return to the Jianghu." Chinmu glanced at him. "Have you prepared enough black iron, black bronze, and the blueprints?" "Already. I've acquired the blueprints for a Lu ship. Then, after the Imperial College goes on break, I'll help you." Chinmu placed a great feng coin on the table. No need for change. The next day, the 2 of them went to the Huku Overseer construction yard. The factory was vast. Furnaces blazed red and blacksmiths bustled about. Chinmu examined the blueprints and revised more than 10 sections. "I need assistance." 10 days. He drove Fan Yungxiao outside. Not long after, 2 great banners appeared. The Heavenly Works Hall and the Artisan Hall arrived with over 100 sect members. In 10 days, how many can be completed? 5 Lu ships. Chinmu smiled faintly. "Make 5. 5 days later. Fan Yungxiao could no longer endure it and secretly opened the door. The moment he poked his head in, an 8-armed 4-faced demon god seized him by the throat. "You dare peek." More than 200 sect members turned their heads in unison. Fan Yungxiao's face turned pale. "I'm blind. I didn't see anything at all." Shinma raised 2 fingers. 2 paths. "I'll join." Fan Yungxiao did not hesitate. "From today onward, I am a man of the sacred sect." Chinmu laughed heartily. "Good. From now on, we are brothers." Inside the Crown Prince's residence, the Nantuo Auxiliary Palace has been completely annihilated. Nantuo Temple has also been razed. No clues can be found. The Crown Prince of the Diankang nation's gaze grew cold. "No clues. Or does Father Emperor not wish to investigate? Only the Heavenly Demon Sect could accomplish such a thing." He clenched his fist. "Go to the Great Thunderclap Temple. I want to know who the new sect master is." His voice was deep and icy. "Whoever dares move against me must pay the price." "Your Highness," the middle-aged man said solemnly, "the Heavenly Demon Sect is one of the 3 great sacred lands. For 40 years without a sect master, and yet not declining that alone, shows terrifying depth. If it were the Great Thunderclap Temple or the Dao Sect, would they dare go 40 years without a Rulai or a Dao Lord? To underestimate them is to suffer loss." The Crown Prince waved a hand lightly. "I have never underestimated them. To silently eliminate Sun Nantuo, to uproot Nantuo Temple entirely, and for the Imperial Court to receive not even half a trace of news, that is no ordinary capability." He paused, eyes dark and profound. "But I do not need to act personally. The Dao Sect and the Great Thunderclap Temple hate the Heavenly Demon Sect more deeply than they hate Diankang. They merely lack an opportunity." The middle-aged man shivered faintly. The Crown Prince continued, his tone calm yet cold. "If Diankang no longer stands opposed to the sects, if the Emperor no longer supports the National Preceptor's reforms, if the National Preceptor were dismissed," he looked straight at the man. "Tell me, would the Dao Sect and the Great Thunderclap Temple be willing to ally with such an emperor?" The middle-aged man fell silent. The Crown Prince clasped his hands behind his back. Father Emperor trusts the national preceptor too deeply. More than half the court are his men. That is digging out the roots of the Ling family. The national preceptor's power grows by the day. If he were to rebel, what would Father Emperor use to restrain him? His voice grew heavy. Eighth Granduncle tried to dissuade him. Father Emperor would not listen. Eighth Granduncle risked his life to pave a path for me, befriending sects, contacting officials and generals. The result? He was beheaded and branded disloyal. The Crown Prince slammed the table. Filial piety and loyalty cannot both be fulfilled. I may be unfilial, but I must be loyal to the Ling family. I must become emperor. I must stop the rising tide. Huko Overseer Construction Yard. In 10 days, 5 ironclad Lu ships were completed. 3 large, 2 small. Each ship was equipped with 3 alchemy cauldrons linked to bronze beasts. One beast at the base expelled fire downward, stabilizing ascent and descent. Their bodies were made entirely of black iron and black bronze, painted externally with faux wood grain, appearing like ordinary wooden vessels. Fan Yungxiao's eyes shone. Which one is mine? Qinmu pointed to a small ship. Large ships consume too many medicinal stones. In times of peace, a private vessel cannot sustain it. Fan Yungxiao hesitated briefly, then nodded. Qinme added, "You may rob money, not lives, not women." Fan Yungxiao burst into laughter. 360 trades each has its specialist. Qinmu was speechless. The small ship was named Cloud-Chasing Dao Vessel. It tore through the air and flew away. Very quickly, Fan Yunxiao noticed something unusual. From the capital city down to Nanjiang 10,000 li, the sun was nowhere to be seen. Even the Li River lay buried in white snow. Nanjiang, normally warm in winter, was now frozen. Fan Yunxiao looked up at the endless stretch of dark clouds. We've flown tens of thousands of li, and we're still beneath a single cloud. He drew a sharp breath. This is no ordinary cloud. The vessel continued toward the South Sea. Suddenly, sunlight burst forth. They had broken free of the dark cloud. Fan Yungxiao turned back, a colossal mass of cloud covering the entirety of the Diankang nation. Golden Luan Hall. Officials crowded the court. Emperor Yan Feng's face was pale. Has the national preceptor arrived? No one answered. He stood and pointed toward the heavens. For more than 10 days, the sun has not been seen. From Mobei to Nanjiang, from Sunrise Isle to Mishui Pass. Heavy snow, a single cloud, shrouds our entire realm. The grand hall fell silent. That shadow of cloud did not merely cover the sky. It covered the fate of Diankang.